All right, happy Monday, everyone. I hope that y'all had a good weekend. I hope that y'all are feeling good today on this Monday. I hope that y'all are feeling ready and productive to get the work week started. Today, we're going to be talking about why it costs to be poor. I know it sounds very interesting, but I'm going to get into the details of the topic so y'all completely understand what I'm getting at. So, first and foremost, what do I mean by being poor? So I have a list here. I got some notes that I wrote down of what exactly I define as being poor. So number one is not being able to afford your current lifestyle. So no matter how much money you have or how much things you have, right? If you have a nice car, if you have a nice house or whatever, you can still be poor if you can't afford that lifestyle. If you can't afford to keep that up, then you're poor because you're living paycheck to paycheck essentially. No matter what status you're in or what type of house or car you have, if you don't have the money to afford that lifestyle, then I would consider that poor. Additionally, being in debt, I would define as poor in a sense, especially if you're using debt to live your life. So if you're using debt to back up your lifestyle, if you're using debt to stay afloat, then I would consider that poor as well. Another thing I wrote down is not having assets that put money into your pocket. So everything that you buy, let's for example, everything that you have or everything that you own or everything that you buy is a liability and it doesn't put any money into your pocket, it just takes money out, or you buy it and it just does nothing, then um, those are not assets. So not having things that put money into your wallet or into your bank account, um, I would consider that as one of the things that can be added on to being poor. Not really a main factor, but one of the other factors that I would include. And then lastly, I would say not knowing people or having those connections uh, that can increase your money. So, for example, you can be someone who knows a lot of people, someone who has a lot of connections, someone who's at a high place in the world without having a lot of money. But all your connections and all the people that you know can put you in a position or can help you get to the position of putting money into your pocket or into your bank account. So when you don't have those connections, or you don't know people, or you don't know any type of things that can put money into your pocket, um, then I would consider that being poor as well. So that's kind of like a socioeconomic type of thing. So maybe you don't have cash, but you have other means of getting to money, right? Connections or um, other things besides actual money or actual cash. So those four things that I just listed are what I would consider to be a large part of being considered poor. Um, Additionally, just because you make a lot of money, right? You can make $100,000 a year, you can make six figures. You can still be poor because, like I said, if you don't have enough money to keep up that lifestyle and you're dependent on that 100,000 every month, you have to get that money, then I would consider that poor, right? Because you have to keep making that money. Um, so yeah, making a certain amount of money doesn't really define. I mean, it can define being poor, but in the grand scheme, not necessarily. I wouldn't say. Okay, now the topic, right? Why does it cost more money to be poor? Why is it expensive to be poor? Why does it cost people to be poor? So I have a list for this too of my reasoning behind this. So when you're poor, you're most likely in debt, or if you're not in debt, you're at a high risk to be in debt, right? You don't have a lot of cash, you don't have a lot of things to back up your bank account or your wallet, right? So if something is to happen to you today, tomorrow, next week, you're gonna have to take out debt in order to cover that. So um, when you're poor, you're more likely to be in debt. And when you're in debt, you pay interest, right? So you pay the money back and more for the interest of borrowing that money. So that's one way that it's more expensive to be poor, because you're at risk of being in debt or you're already in debt. So you're spending a lot of money, right? Rich people or wealthy people, people who are not in debt, they don't spend that money on interest. They don't pay off debt. They don't pay interest. So that's a big fee that they don't have to pay. So it's more expensive to have to pay that, to be poor in a sense, and have to pay that interest. Additionally, you give up a lot of opportunities because you don't have money, or you don't have the assets, or you don't have the connections to be able to jump on a trend or something that's growing before it hits its peak. So, for example, let's say, let me think of an example here. Let's say silver all of a sudden becomes really expensive, or it's getting really expensive, right? If I buy silver today, I can sell it for double the price in 3 weeks. This is just a hypothetical example, right? If I'm wealthy, or if I have enough money to be able to buy some silver right now, then I can collect that money in 3 weeks, double my money. So I'm a wealthy person, I buy silver, I wait 3 weeks, and I sell it for double the price. Versus being a poor person, right? I don't have money to be able to buy extra things outside of the current lifestyle that I'm living. So I don't have enough money to buy the silver because I'm barely staying afloat with my house, my car, and all the other things that I'm spending money on, my lifestyle. So I don't have the money to buy the silver. So I basically missed out on that opportunity to double my money. So that's what it means to give up a lot of opportunities. When you're poor, you don't have a lot of upfront cash, you don't have connections, you don't have what you need to be able to capitalize or jump onto something before it blows up, or jump onto something that's a good investment, or to be able to hop onto something that could make you any type of money in the future. Opportunity cost is what that's essentially called in economic terms. So poor people give up a lot of opportunities because they don't have the resources to be able to capitalize. Another reason, like I said, that you're unable to buy income producing assets or something that can increase your money. Additionally, so when you're poor, you don't have a lot of money or a lot of resources. A good way to make money is by offering a service, right, or a skill. If you mow lawns, right, that's a service. If you have a certain skill, you can video edit, or you have some crafting abilities or some type of skill that you can, do flooring for somebody's houses. When you're poor, those are good things to resort to in order to make money in the short term, right? So you offer a personal service, you offer a skill, price on that, or cost on that. So for that reason, all the reasons that I just listed, that's pretty much why it costs to be poor. You're paying a lot of costs, right? You're paying time. It costs you time to be able to market your services and your skills, and trading your time for money. It costs you money because you have to pay late fees, overdraft fees. It costs you an opportunity because you can't use the resources that you have now to be able to collect benefits in the future. And then you also paying the cost of just being looked down upon, or maybe even judged, just because of your circumstances. So for that reason, me, I always advocate that you buy some assets. If you're not in the position to get some assets yet, I recommend that you get out of debt. If you're already out of debt but you're not in a position to buy assets, then I recommend that you save money so that you can have some money put away for a rainy day, and then later on you can buy assets. So with that being said, let this be kind of a information as to why it's costing you and why it hurts to be poor, and let this be kind of a motivation in a sense to not be in that situation if you are in that situation, or if you feel like you might be in that situation soon, or a lot of it has to do with lifestyle as well, right? If you can't afford your lifestyle, maybe you're motivated now to take some to kind of decrease your lifestyle a little bit, so you can save some money, so you can be able to do bigger things, or invest some money in the future. So with that being said, I hope that you learned something. I hope that you're more understanding of what it means to cost to be poor. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that y'all have a good day today, a good evening, and I hope that y'all get to it this week. And I hope that y'all's week goes very productively. That's it. Peace.